Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another enguru lesson. My name is Karan, and I'm one of the head teachers here at enguru. In today's lesson, we're going to look at the art of persuasion. Um, we're going to see what are some tips on how you can persuade someone, and of course, how it helps you. Well, let's begin with what you mean by the word persuasion first. To persuade someone means to influence the way they think and their opinions. Now, who really needs to know the art of persuasion? Well, it's not just for business professionals, but even if you're a student or a homemaker or anyone for that matter, you will find yourself in a position where you will need to persuade someone or the other in your life. And that's what we're going to look at in this week's video. And also, watch out for part 2 next week. Now, you would have found yourself in a situation, again, whoever you may be, where you need to persuade someone or convince someone to do what you want them to. It could be while buying vegetables. It could be while making a presentation. It could be while making a sale. It could be any such situation, right? And while we do have some idea of how to persuade someone, in this video, we're going to look at a few tips which will make it better for you to actually convince someone else. Well, let's begin with why you need to know how to persuade someone. If you are a working professional, it will definitely help you to perform better in your job. Imagine having to tell your boss why you've done something and why you need to do something by convincing them the right way. Convincing your internal and external stakeholders will ensure that you perform better in your job as well as a result of them getting convinced. Of course, if you perform better at your job, the next reason why persuasion is better is to move up the ladder. When you know that you're performing better at your job, and when your superiors see that you're performing better at your job, they wouldn't hesitate from making you move up the ladder and aiding you with that as well. Now, when you move up the ladder, you may notice that there are some things you'd like to change, there are some things you'd like to improvise, and the easiest way to convince someone that change is necessary is with the art of persuasion. And that's why, for a well-rounded career, the art of persuasion definitely comes in handy. So, let's dive into the lesson and let's look at how you can persuade someone, and let's look at a few tips. Now, coming to some tips that you need to follow when you want to persuade your audience with excellence. Let's have a look at the first tip. The first and the most important tip is to know your audience. If you know who they are, if you know what they like, if you know what they're here for, and if you can appeal to them on a personal level, is when you can persuade them better. And that's why it's very important to know your audience. It's also important to know why they are there. What are they actually looking for? If they are there to see what your projection of the current plan is, then they want to see that. You don't want to include something entirely different in your presentation, otherwise the whole point gets lost. Let's look at the next step. Of course, you need to be able to dress well and professionally. Remember, the first impression is the last impression. And with the help of this, whether you are a very great speaker or whether you're an okayish speaker, that impression will be lasting. So make sure that you're dressed professionally and you're dressed well. Let's have a look at the next step. Now we're going to look at something which forms the foundation of any sale or any persuasion, which is your logos, pathos, and ethos. What is logos? Logos is basically when you appeal to their logical side, right? You must be logical with your approach when you want to persuade someone. Give them facts, give them figures, make their mind think the way you want them to think. That forms one of the 3 foundations of making a good sale. Let's have a look at the next one. Appealing to their emotional side, or pathos. Remember, you must look at something that is going to make them want to invest in your idea as well. The brain, of course, does the thinking, but it is from the heart that they will be convinced whether they want to or they don't want to go ahead with your current proposition. That is pathos. And the last one is ethos. Ethos is basically telling someone why you are the right person for this particular job. You must establish your credibility. If you give a presentation and you are a nobody, they won't be convinced by you at all. So when you start your presentation, you must also mention who you are, why you are the right person for this job, and why you would be the one who brings about this particular change in the best way possible. So establish your credibility, and you've covered the third point, which is ethos. Now, if someone tries to convince me, I will always look at how it benefits me. If it doesn't benefit me, I will not want to invest my time in it. But if it does benefit me, I will definitely try to invest as much time in it as possible. So, when you also have a presentation, or when you're on a sales call, or any kind of situation where you need to persuade someone, make sure that you mention how it benefits them and not just you. Let's go to the next point. Of course, a lot of people are not going to get convinced by you in the first go. So you have to be persistent, which means you have to keep trying, and be patient, which means don't get worried or don't get angry if someone does not get convinced in the first go. Persuasion, as they say, is an art. It develops over time. It may not be successful in the first go. So keep trying, be patient, and of course, soon you will become a master of persuasion. And finally, ensure that you define your ask. When you say define your ask, it means what do you want them to do after they listen to your presentation. For example, what I would ask you to do is go to the comment section and write of a time when you had to convince someone and how you did it. Or you could write a time when someone tried to convince you and how they did it. That's my ask of you from this video. So make sure that you define your ask, tell them exactly what you want them to do, and follow up with them. If you're not clear with your ask, they will not know what to do. And if they don't know what to do, they will not get convinced on what you want them to do. And so, once again, it's very important for us to define our ask. Keep all of these points in mind when we try to persuade someone the next time. Well, that's it for today, everybody. In this video, we looked at some tips that we can follow when we want to persuade someone. And of course, in the next video, we're going to dive a little further and look at functional language, which we can use when we want to try and convince somebody. So, for this video, I hope you like, share, subscribe, and don't forget to comment. And I will see you next week with The Art of Persuasion Part 2. Happy learning, everyone.
This video is brought to you by Enguru Spoken English app. Enguru offers interactive live classes every day, daily practice sessions, expert Enguru teachers, and a certificate from Enguru. Download the app from Google Play Store to keep learning. And yes, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel.